Well, we will go ahead and get started. So hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tri-Sigma Foundation's Prematurity Awareness Month webinar. My name is Brenna Smith, and I am super excited to serve as a volunteer on the Foundation's March of Dimes committee. I was initiated at Beta Epsilon chapter at Western Illinois University. I'm currently located in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I work for the Girl Scouts Heart of Michigan here. I am unintentionally looking a little purple because of the light from my screen. So I made a joke earlier that that's just, I'm that excited about Prematurity Awareness Month that I have a purple hue to my face. But yeah, I actually really am very excited to share with you all some information about Prematurity Awareness Month today. And so we will have time at the end to answer questions, but if things pop up throughout the webinar and you want to put it in the chat box, I will try my best to monitor the chat box. And I do have Desiree from the Foundation on the line as well, so she will be able to help me out with that if need be. So just a little bit of information about the March of Dimes Committee. The March of Dimes Committee is made up of Tri-Sigma volunteers who are really passionate about furthering the national partnership that we have with the March of Dimes. And so one way that we're going about doing this is educating Tri-Sigmas around the country about the March of Dimes mission and how we as a sisterhood can continue to serve children through this partnership. And so I know that I was at convention in 2016 when our new partnership was unveiled, but we're definitely, even though we're a little bit over 2 years removed from that, we're still at the early stages of our partnership with the March of Dimes. And so we have a lot of opportunities to build upon the service, the engagement, and the fundraising initiatives to truly make a really impactful difference for the children and families in our communities. So I'm really excited to share with you how you and or your chapter can participate in Prematurity Awareness Month this coming November for raising awareness throughout the month, participating in engagement activities, all kinds of stuff. And then, like I mentioned, we will have some time for questions at the end, so don't be shy to pop something in the chat box, and we can chat at the end about any questions that you might have. So without further ado, so this year, the March of Dimes went under a national rebrand. And so you've probably seen some changes on their social media posts. We have a new joint logo that we share with the March of Dimes. They're using more vibrant colors. They have a lot more photography. And they also have this brand new mission statement. So the new mission statement of the March of Dimes is March of Dimes leads the fight for the health of all moms and babies. And so the key here is that while their branding and their mission statement has changed, the intent of the organization has not. So they still it still involves focusing on preventing premature birth defects, and infant mortality. And this new mission statement makes it easier to clearly encompass all of the aspects of their mission, whether that is MICU support, community research, resources, and prematurity research. So all of those things are still encompassed within the March of Dimes, and this new mission statement just more clearly and succinctly defines what it is that the March of Dimes is trying to accomplish. So why do we fight? Why are we joining March of Dimes in this fight against prematurity? Well, as you can see by the facts on the screen, 2017 was actually the third consecutive year where the preterm birth rate went up. And so that is obviously a huge problem. And so premature birth and the complications that come along with it are some of the largest contributors to infant death in the United States. And the United States, the preterm birth rate is among the highest in all of the highly developed nations, which is a big problem. And preterm birth rates in the United States are actually increasing for women and children of color. And so the March of Dimes is working to expand solutions that we know make a big difference. And so clearly there's a big sense of urgency that emerges when we hear these facts. In 2018, you would think that all of these problems would be decreasing. We found that actually they're increasing. So there's definitely an urgent need for us to address and fight for this problem. Fight for a solution, I should say. So Tri Sigma is really part of a community of fighters who are advocating for the health of all moms and babies. And so this community includes parents and families of the babies who are born too sick or too soon, healthcare professionals, expecting mom and dads who are in need of information, and all of those people who have a compassion and dedication and admiration for the moms and babies who are fighting for their lives and fighting for their health. So by raising awareness and educating ourselves about the March of Dimes mission, we empower our sisterhood to share with others the urgency that we just talked about. You know, these increasing rates are obviously very problematic. So we empower our sisterhood to fight against those problems. We also increase awareness about the importance of fighting premature birth. So we definitely have the power to continue growing this community of fighters until no baby is born too soon, which is the ultimate goal. So during November, we will be observing Prematurity Awareness Month, during which our community of fighters that we just talked about will increase awareness about prematurity and inspire others to join us and join this community of fighters. So Prematurity Awareness Month really gives us all an amazing platform and a reason to talk about this important cause, and also bring light to the impact that prematurity has on children and families. So Prematurity Awareness Month really is about spreading awareness and inspiring engagement among all of those community members that we had mentioned. So just a little bit more information about Prematurity Awareness Month. When our community comes together, there is so much that we can accomplish and so much, significant difference that we can really make. So in particular, the goals of the month are to inspire engagement and drive action through these key moments and key events. Support and celebrate every family before, during, and after pregnancy, even when things don't necessarily go as planned. Raising awareness and funds for groundbreaking research at the Prematurity Research Centers, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a little while. And advocate for every family so that everyone has access to preventative and supportive care to support healthy birth outcomes. So these are the things that we're really trying to promote during Prematurity Awareness Month. So in November, we want to turn the entire world purple. And so this happens through a series of events. So baby showers, days of gratitude, signature chefs events, NICU family reunions, to literally lighting up buildings, or your face if you're on a webinar. No, just kidding. But we definitely want to spread awareness and support the fight for the health of moms and babies. And so to get involved at a local level, because obviously thinking globally can seem like a lot, but there are a lot of easy ways to get involved on a local level. So one thing that you can do is contact your local March of Dimes office. If you do need help finding out, what that contact might be or how to get in touch with them, you can always email the foundation and the email address for that is foundation@trisigma.org. And one of the foundation staff members will get back to you and help you figure out what the next steps are to finding that contact and getting involved at a local level at any March of Dimes events that might be taking place in or near your community. And so one way that you can definitely physically light up the world purple is to purchase a purple light bulb and light up your front porch. So you see the picture on the slide is from our national headquarters. And again, this year, our national headquarters will have a purple light bulb on the front porch where they will be lighting the world up purple. And so you can do this at your chapter house. If you are a collegiate member, you can do this at where you live now. Another good idea would be to talk to the people at your place of employment, see if there's a prominent place where you work that would be a great place to light it up purple. Basically anywhere that you have access to putting in a purple light bulb that people are going to drive through your neighborhood and think, why is everything purple? That's really what we're going for here. And then that next step is to take a photo of that front porch, share it on social media, and make sure to include in that post, why is it that your front porch is lit up purple? So you'll want to use the hashtag that you see on the screen, hashtag prematurity awareness, and tag both Tri Sigma and March of Dimes accounts, just so that we can share, all of the amazing ways in which we are lighting up the world purple. And like I said, just like last year, our national headquarters will be joining us in lighting the world up purple with a purple light bulb on our front porch as well. So I think that's awesome. And I think especially if you are a collegiate member, if there are landmarks on campus that people, are people consider to be iconic for your campus, ask around and see if it would be possible to light that up purple for this super important cause. So getting into how you should be planning for November and how you can really participate and get the most out of this Prematurity Awareness Month. So you've taken the first step. Spend this month of October planning what it is that you want to do in November. So if that is an educational program for your chapter, for your campus, maybe even your community, spend this month figuring out what that might look like, when it might be, and what the goals of that educational program would be. I would definitely be willing to serve as a resource for you if you do need help or assistance in planning an event or an educational program like that. I would be more than happy to help you with that. My email address is brenna.smith26@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to put that in the chat at the end, just for anybody who might need it. And then on November 1st, at the very beginning of Prematurity Awareness Month, March of Dimes releases their premature birth report card, which essentially gives a ranking of every state and how they're doing in terms of premature births. So you'll definitely want to take a look at your state and see where that falls. That should be shared on social media, so it should be easy for you to find. It should be on that March of Dimes website as well, so definitely look out for that and see where your state lies in terms of that rating. Throughout November, you definitely have the opportunity to volunteer at local events. So again, you would want to contact your local March of Dimes office to see what events are they having and what is their need for volunteers and how you could get involved. November 17th is World Prematurity Day. So again, this is the day that we want to see everyone wearing purple. Everyone should post on social media, take a selfie and share on social media that you're wearing purple in honor of World Prematurity Day. And again, you'll want to use that hashtag prematurity awareness to promote the day that we're all going to be observing. And then throughout November, again, you'll want to share those messages on social media about the March of Dimes, why it's so important to you, and why you support it. So you could do that by sharing your own story. You could share March of Dimes posts, their social media posts. And in general, you'll want to make it really clear why you believe in and support the March of Dimes. Okay, sorry, just checked my chat box really quick. Okay, so why partner with the March of Dimes? Why does Tri Sigma partner with the March of Dimes? Well, through this partnership, we are actually able to champion that pioneering research at March of Dimes Prematurity Research Centers, which is really amazing. And so all March of Dimes funds that are donated through the foundation support these 6 prematurity research centers, which work to uncover the underlying causes of preterm birth. And so our partnership with March of Dimes is specifically geared towards that prematurity area. So similar to our fight against polio, we have the opportunity to be a leader in medical innovation and collaboration to prevent preterm birth, birth defects, and infant mortality. And so we're really proud to stand with the March of Dimes in this fight to uncover those causes related to preterm birth. And I think one thing that we sometimes don't necessarily think about or don't realize is just how much of an impact March of Dimes has on the people around us, on a lot of our sisters. And so at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our sisters, Lori, who does have a very personal connection to the March of Dimes, so she can just share her story and why March of Dimes is so important and influential in her life. So Lori?
Can you see me?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I'm also on the March of Dimes committee with Brenna, and I am a Beta Delta from Shepherd University, and I'm also a member of the Harrisburg Alumni Chapter. And I'm just very happy to share my story with you and just the personal connection and how I was so elated when Tri Sigma partnered with the March of Dimes and joining in all the importance of what their mission is and what they're trying to accomplish. And just being a part of raising the funds to help that is just amazing to me. So my story is that I'm a twin, and I have a twin brother, and we were born about 6 weeks premature many years ago. And we also had a unique situation in which we shared an umbilical cord, and the nutrients were mainly coming to me and not as much to my brother. And if my mom had carried to term, my brother probably would not have made it. So I might get emotional on this because it's just a very sad situation that, that would even, happen. My parents at the time had no idea that they were having twins because we had no history of twins in the family. And then at the time, the doctor, when they were listening for a heartbeat, only heard one because I was positioned in front of my brother and he was behind. And at that time, it was just really the, like the stethoscope. It was very, rudimentary, in terms of medical technology at the time at how they did that, because they did not have the testing back then that they do nowadays, which is probably contributing, with March of Dimes and their mission. So we're getting to that point that we can, end premature births. I do remember growing up when I was out raising money for the March of Dimes that my mom shared the story. Of course we knew we were premature and that, but knowing that the March of Dimes actually impacted our family because of my mom and my dad not knowing that they were having twins first off, and then of course having premature twins on top of it, and how to handle the situation and what to do. And they were connected with other families that were in similar situations. So that was a real big plus, that the support system was there and continues to be. That's one of the big reasons that the March of Dimes, they're helping the families in their community. The reason why it's the main reason why I continue to support the March of Dimes and Tri Sigma and spreading the awareness, especially during November of, premature awareness and the mission of the March of Dimes to end premature births. So that's why it's a very personal story, for me, and I choose to, help support that and the mission through Tri Sigma and partner with any of the sisters in the chapters and to continue to do that. Thanks.
Thank you so much for sharing, Lori. It's definitely a powerful story to hear, and I think it makes it really clear how a lot of times, the March of Dimes hits closer to home than a lot of us might realize. And I'm sure, if you ask around and talk to people, even if you don't have that personal connection, a lot of the people that you are directly connected to will. And so March of Dimes really has a significant impact on a lot of people around us. And I think that that's just really important for us to remember going into Prematurity Awareness Month. So how can you get involved for Prematurity Awareness Month? One way is to engage locally with your local March of Dimes office. So you can, again, reach out, and we really encourage that you reach out locally to that March of Dimes office in or near your community. See what's going on with them. Is there an event coming up that they need extra hands helping with, help promoting, whatever the case might be. If they need help, it's definitely a good idea to reach out and see how you can make an impact. We also want to see the world lit up purple, like we talked about earlier. So whether that means lighting up your house, lighting up your workplace, driving awareness by dressing purple on November 17th, Prematurity Day, it's all about spreading that awareness and getting the word out there. The other thing, while Prematurity Awareness Month is definitely focused on awareness and engagement, if you or your chapter does choose to fundraise for Prematurity Awareness Month, it is really important that you do that through the foundation. And so you can donate to the foundation and make a note that it is designated for March of Dimes. Doing that through the foundation allows you it allows the foundation to track how much Tri-Sigmas have given to March of Dimes based on our agreed upon partnership goals. So that's one thing that's really important. And also chapter gifts are, if they're donated through the foundation, count for accreditation. And same thing for individual gifts as well. If you're giving through the foundation, it counts towards giving totals for both annual giving clubs and cumulative giving societies. So again, the focus is definitely spreading awareness by doing some of these, volunteering opportunities, spreading the word on social media with the hashtag prematurity awareness, lighting things purple. But again, that donating and fundraising opportunity is always available. Just make sure that you're doing it through the foundation so that we can keep track of what we've been contributing to the March of Dimes. And so we do have a lot of resources that are available to you throughout Prematurity Awareness Month. So you are able to download branded social media images and project guides for a lot of really cool and impactful activities. You can do that on the foundation website I believe it's under leadership opportunities. I'll maybe defer to Des at the end, but it is on the foundation website, so you can download those resources there. And you can also request a March of Dimes Prematurity Awareness Month toolkit, which I can drop the link to that in the chat box as well, so that you can, it's a super simple form that you'll fill out that will let the March of Dimes know that you're requesting this Prematurity Awareness Month, and it will have a lot of really great tool resources as well. So that's a good resource to also take advantage of. So I know that that was a lot of information, good amount of information, I think. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. At this point, does anybody have any questions? Okay, Des just put in the chat box, all of the resources that we've discussed will be shared via email tomorrow, as well as these slides. So thanks, Des. Any other questions at this point? All right, well, I'm not seeing any at this point, but I know that I'm definitely someone who processes things. So if you do have a question that pops up after the presentation, maybe usually for me, it's at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm trying to sleep. So if you do have those questions that pop up, feel free to reach out to the foundation. The email to contact the foundation is foundation@trisigma.org. You could also email me if you do have any questions or would like any support. If you're planning an activity or an educational program for Prematurity Awareness Month, my email again is Brenna, BRENNA .smith26@gmail.com. Like I mentioned, all of the resources that we've discussed and all of the slides will be sent via email to you all tomorrow. So if I'm still not seeing any questions, so if you do have any questions, please reach out. Thank you all so much for attending, and I know that I'm looking forward to a really impactful Prematurity Awareness Month, and so excited for us to see the world lit up purple and for us to really make a difference this November. So have a great day, everybody.